Christ will only forgive you of your sins and help you get blessed in this life if you're able to forgive other people. Okay, and if you're like me, you're probably thinking, forgive who? I've not got beef with nobody. You have, lad. Yeah, or lass. You have to forgive, and it's not for them. When you forgive people in this life, it's not so you can bring them back in. You know, you forgive people in this life and never speak to them again. Okay, and you're probably thinking, forgive what? Forgive what? Mate, you are shaped the most in the early stages of your life, okay? By your parents, by people around you at a young age, and not even young, teenagers, early 20s, whatever it is, lad, okay? And there can be a lot of mistreatment, right? You know, your parents can say they love you till the flipping cows come home, mate, but if your parents are unhealed, and if your parents have had a toxic upbringing, or they're insecure, or they've got pressures at work, or anything like that, they can project that onto you, right? Oh, mate, listen, yeah, I'd love to go into massive detail, but it's just on my mind to forgive, okay? So in this life, once you forgive someone, you know, you rewire your brain. Okay, why is it so important to forgive? Not just so God will forgive you, okay, but if you're, you know, if you've got unforgiveness in your heart because of the way someone treated you, or the way you think they treated you, or something that triggered you, or anything to do with that, mate, it can build up resentment. And if you've got resentment to somebody in this life, they're taking your energy. If you're sat at home and every now and again someone pops up in your brain and something, what they've done to you, and you're like, stupid bitch, you're like, flipping that, mate, yeah, like, they're taking your energy. They're taking you out of joy, they're taking you out of peace. So you might not have contact with these people anymore, but they're still siphoning your energy because you're being emotionally triggered by something that happened to you from them. You have to forgive, okay? You have to forgive so God will forgive you. You have to go back in time and find out what hurt you, or how people mistreated you, or the way your parents acted towards you, and you have to forgive, mate, okay? And I know this is going to sound crazy to the typical lad out there, mate, because when I first started this journey, it was all news to me. Think about it, mate, yeah? I'm about 28, 29 years old, drug addict my whole life, mate, you know, didn't care about nothing, bro, and then God is trying to tell me I weren't loved, and I was mistreated by my parents, and all these kind of crazy things, and then he mistreated you, or you know what I mean? I was in shock, lad. No, I didn't think that affected me, okay, but it does, mate, right? And it'll store as trauma in your body, and the way you are treated shapes you and sets you up for the rest of your life, lad, okay? Listen, mate, it's so crucial to love your children in this life. To be able to fully love your children in this life, you have to heal and you have to do the work, and this is what's going to flipping stop these generational curses from getting passed down to your kids, okay? Your mum and dad might not be an evil, horrible person, okay, but right, there are certain people in the family that are born different, okay? You can call it whatever you want, the black sheep of the family, just someone who carries a little bit of a spark in him, a little bit more of, you know what I mean? I'm not flipping at me, I'm not going to go into detail, right? I'm just going to tell you this, yeah. You can say you love your kids all you want. If you're unhealed, it's going to sweat through your skin, mate, and it's going to fall onto your children without you realising, okay? Your mum and dad can have a bad day in work, come home, take it out on your kids and project whatever's going on onto their kids, and they can be fueled by it. You know, your children in this life is pure energy. Love your kids in this life, okay? It's crucial the way you are with your kids. It shapes them for the rest of their life, okay? And a lot of men out there, I know for a fact, they're not going to really understand this because it's gay, right? But it flipping matters to this, all these flipping parts of you within, lad, and it shapes you, mate, the way you're treated by your parents, okay? You have to do the work, and there's people in this life that are willing to break these generational curses, okay, to make sure what has happened to them in this life is not going to get passed down to their children, and you have to heal. And if you're wondering, Joe, how do we heal? Jesus Christ will take you through it, okay? Just talk to God about it, all right? And he'll set it up, okay? There's no perfect time frame for these kind of things to start You know, when I think I'm healed, something else will pop up, something else will trigger me. You know, flipping that, lad. You know, it's a total process, and I don't think anyone is going to be totally fully healed. I think we're going to spend our whole life healing, lad, and that's good, mate, because the end goal is for our spirit to become refined and become at one with Christ after we die, mate. So, you know, we want to flip in, not let the world drag us down, mate. It's so crucial, the love that you dump into your kids, and kids are a blessing, mate. Yeah, flipping out the pure energy. You know, there's a reason why these elites and Satanists want the children, because it's pure energy, mate. And there's parents out there that are coming home and having a bad day in work, taking it out on the kids, and then they feel better for doing that. You need to understand what value is in a child in this life. Now, what you need to do is give them pure love from a healed position, and they're going to give it you back. You've got parents in this life getting away with putting their children down, taking out whatever's going on with them onto their kids, and they're being energized by it. They're siphoning the life out of their own children, knocking them down, and they're building the self-esteem up off the back of their own children. And this is happening, mate. Okay, I'm here, bro. I don't care no more, mate. I'm here to break out and to tell people now, yeah, you are shaped by the way your parents bring you up in this life, okay? And you're gonna go out into the world on flipping rocky foundations because you're the parents, and then you're going to attract the same spirits in your parents and other people, mate, and it's not going to set you up very well. And a lot of these people live a rebellious lifestyle. Start whatever it is, like whatever you want to flipping put that, I'm not going to go into it yet. Okay, they can become drug addicts, and these people that were mistreated in evil ways, mate, okay, behind closed doors, okay, nothing that, you know, you can't go to jail for this kind of stuff, and there should be flipping jail time for these people that secretly abuse their children behind the scenes, not physically, but mentally, lad. Okay, it's demonic and it's narcissistic, okay, and it will ruin your children, and these children will go out into the world and they'll become drug addicts, they'll become rebellious, and then everyone's pointing the finger at them. Look how wild they are, look how crazy they are. They're the problem, okay? Me, I'm here to bring you the truth. I don't lie, mate, yeah? And I'm here to tell you how crucial it is to heal before you have children. But if you've got children and you want to show them real love, you have to do the work, mate, because it will get passed down. And even if you've got good intentions in this life, it's still going to sweat through, mate. It's still going to leak out of you. You know, you can put on a flipping act all you want, mate. It's still going to come out, mate. The mistreatment of children behind closed doors, mate, is flipping so evil. These kids can end up thinking they're the problem, and they can end up, I'm not making excuses for bad behaviour or the way someone lives their life, but I know from first-hand experience, right, okay, you are going to get shaped by your parents. You've got parents out there putting their own children down. What? I don't understand it, mate. But in the same breath, I'm going to say, if I didn't meet God, right, and I'm going to be a fantastic dad in this life, yeah, but if I didn't meet God and I had children and I still carried this belief that I was going to be a great dad, I'm telling you now, mate, my kids would have been affected by my actions, whether they're flipping paid the bills or not, mate, whether they're flipping give my kids hugs and said, I love you, mate, it will have bled through me onto my children's. Okay, you can't escape this unhealed version, mate. Okay, you can't, lad. It's gonna come out, mate. It's gonna come out in your energy. It's gonna come out in you know, your secret addictions, everything, lad. It has a knock-on effect onto your kids. Okay, you need to flipping build your children up. You're gonna be a superstar. You look fantastic, mate. Don't take do you know what I'm saying, lad? And people kill themselves over this kind of stuff. It's flipping shocking, lad. There's kids getting abused behind the scenes mentally. Nobody speaks about this, mate. And they'll live a bad life. They'll go on to end up killing themselves, hanging themselves, lad. Nobody gets jail time for it. Okay? I'm here to flipping preach. You know what I mean? If you've been on the receiving end of mistreatment from your parents, brother, forgive. Okay? Forgive. You have to forgive. Right, not so you can allow them back into your life, because once you've become awakened and you realise, hang on, I need to go back in time now and figure out all these little bits of me that went wrong here and there, which has shaped me, okay? And you'll go back, and a lot of things that might resurface is the way your parents treated you, And at first, you're not going to understand when God tells you to forgive. Forgive them for what? I'm not flipping it. Oh, forgive them for what? What they've done has not affected me. It flipping has, lad. It's affected the 5-year-old child within you. Okay, a little lash of anger there, a little flipping bad day in the office there, a little flipping put down there, starting arguments with you and then not giving up on the arguments and keep being in your face. And mate, it's so narcissistic, and we shouldn't blame the human being. It's the spirits behind them, mate. Sometimes demons can be operating through these people because of their own trauma, lad, and it's our job to forgive, mate. Okay, and I know it sounds gay, and if you don't understand forgiveness, you need to understand it's not just scientific, mate. Okay, it's spiritual. First and foremost, Jesus will only forgive you if you're able to forgive others, right? Forgiveness is going to set you free. You don't need to bring these people back into your life, right? Forgiveness is going to set you free. Let me explain, mate. If you have been affected by people in this life and you have not gone through the forgiveness process, mate, it can keep popping up every now and again. And it can build resentment in your heart that you might not be aware of, but every time their face pops up in your mind or something that they've done to you, like triggers you and that, and you know what I mean, they're siphoning your energy to this day. You know, the thoughts you have towards other people is feeding them energy, mate, right? And it's taking away your peace and joy if it's a negative energy. You have to forgive. Okay, and if you don't forgive in this life, demons have legal right to torment you due to unforgiveness. Okay, you have to forgive. I thought forgiveness was this: God, I forgive him. I forgive him. I forgive him. But if you really want, listen, I've not read any books, right? I don't watch videos on YouTube and come over here and flipping feed it to you and trying to be a clever clogs lad. This is what I went through, mate, and the perfect way of forgiveness from me, lad, which come to me, which I done, right? You picture the person that's hurt you in some kind of way. Hurt me, not hurt me. They've hurt the child within you. They've hurt the teenager within you, mate, and it's affected you. This flipping, don't man up, man down, mate. Yeah, take away the ego and understand what I'm saying to you now is what shapes us as human beings, okay? And which can cause addictions. Can cause all kinds of flipping mental health problems, lad. Yeah, I'm just saying, it's the truth, mate. The person that you know you need to forgive in your head, picture them now. So let's say it's your father, let's say it's your dad or something like that. Let's say it's your dad, yeah. So picture him now in the worst state possible. Go back in time to those little bits, you know, that God has revealed to you, that, you know what I mean, all these kind of nasty behaviours, all these kind of lash outs, all these insecurities, and picture the worst version of this person possible in your mind, right, with a screwed face on or however it looks, right? Picture that in your mind and say, right, I'm looking at this person now, okay, and think about everything bad that they've done to you, or that you think they've done to you, or that you think they're capable of doing to you. Do you know what I mean, mate? Some of it might be in your head to do. You need to cover all angles. Picture that in your head. How did he look? Screwed face on, you little Imagine that now. Pull off the mask, right? Pull off the mask. Get rid of all those negative ways you see this person, okay? Push down, you know, push away all the, you know, the ways they hurt you. Who is underneath that mask? How was they treated as a child? What did they go through? You know? And if you've got any kind of knowledge or information on this person, try and tap into that. It's just going to help your case, mate. You know, was they bullied? Was they hurt? Was they cheated on? You know, did they have a toxic family structure? Okay? You know, look into them. Are they anxious? Are they stressed? You know, what are they going through? And try and see them. Pull off that negative mask that they have on and try and see them in the most vulnerable state that you can possibly imagine and say, I forgive them. I forgive them. Pray that God heals them. Okay? You need to see these people. You need to remove the demonic mask, or however you want to flip and see it, yeah, however you imagine it in your head, and then you want to see the little baby lamb within them that's struggling. You know, you want to see the hurt version of them, and then you want to understand, okay, that it's not personal, right? And then you say, I forgive him, Lord, right? It's going to take time. okay? But this is so important, mate. You know, I'm not gonna come on here like some little flipping fairy and go, rah, rah, rah. This is serious, mate. You know, what you're hearing today is facts from someone. Hey, I don't care. I don't care what flipping people have done to me, mate. I'm not even arsed, lad. If a doctor, you know, right, in the worst state I've ever been in my life, like bad, lad. If I went into a doctor's office and I said, Doc, what the flipping heck is up with me, mate? Right? I would expect him to say, the drugs, the this, the that, the da-da-da-da-da. If the doctor turned around to me and said, well, actually, mate, if we can go back in time, I can pinpoint here, a lot of things that shaped you in your life. Mate, I would have flipping walked out, pissing myself laughing. If he would have said, Joe, a lot of the reasons why you've been so messed up in this life started with your parents. I would have been like, what the flipping heck? Dr. flipping Bahaka, what are you on about, mate? I'm not even asked. He's like, Joe, I'm serious, mate. You've been shaped because of this. I would have laughed. I promise you, I would have laughed. And then I would have left that office with a smile on my face going, you don't have a clue what he's talking about, mate. You know what I mean? It's the flipping coke, it's this, it's that. No, lad. Things shape us. And I'm talking, brother. And then it only gets worse because then you're naturally drawn to rebellious activity or drugs or anything like that. And in that life, flipping, mate. And then that life flipping, you know, a whole load of other flipping consequences come from that.